Bliss loves, bliss everyone, bliss, bliss. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rissa Vibes here, aka Readings by Rissa. So excited to connect with you as always. Today is another Sunday. It's 1:11 p.m. Central Time, and we are right here again to connect to this web of light community that we've created here on YouTube, where we join every single week to discuss the energy of the week to come and allow ourselves to join in our own intuitive connections and spiritual growth to support each other during the times that we're in. I'm so happy to be here for you. If you don't know me, my name is Rissa Vibes, and I am an intuitive and intuitive coach. I help spiritually curious people activate their intuitive gifts and navigate their enlightenment journey. And I'm so excited to be here for you to do the same today for this week reading. So we have so much to talk about. There's literally so much we're going to cover today. So I want to start by just welcoming all of you in. I want to give you all a chance to settle in, take a couple of deep breaths. Let me know who's joining and where you're joining from, how you're feeling today. Let's just get ourselves really settled into the present moment, because this is our opportunity to check in with ourselves, to take time for ourselves, and to connect to spirit. So I'm super excited to do that with you today. I always like to start these readings with a little of a review of last week. So I want to go over the cards from last week that we pulled. Last week, in the beginning of the week, we pulled the setback card. Okay. And the setback card was letting us know that we were feeling like things were kind of limiting us. We were feeling a little bit frustrated and kind of held back by certain things. But it wasn't really the truth. We recognized through the reading that those energies of setback was actually an illusion, and that even though we may have felt some challenge or stagnancy, it didn't mean that we weren't moving forward. And then in the middle of the week, we had the sacred sexuality card. And this really encouraged us to understand and value the power behind our sexuality and understand the ways in which we could manifest through that. It also made sure to invigorate a sense of passion within us and understanding of that energy so we could create that fire for the things that we felt like we were kind of stagnant in or losing motivation in. Okay. And then at the end of the week, we had the nature card. And that's where we're at right now with this weekend, feeling that nature aspect of ourselves, grounding into the nature of Mama Gaia, and really honoring that energy so that we can fully feel integrated and connected to our bodies and to this planet Earth as we undergo some pretty amazing initiations of infinite light. And that's why I titled this week's reading that exact thing, because we are being initiated, all of us right now, in our own way, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, materially, in the world. And there's so many initiations that we are undergoing as a mass collective as well. So, and it's all because of this cosmic energy we're tapping into. We've got the full moon tomorrow. We've got the Lion's Gate later this week, and we're just in a really strong energy right now. So I'm going to talk all about that this week. We're going to dive into that for this reading. But first, I want to see who's joining us. So let's go ahead and see who's here. Oh, Kayla's here. Good to see you, love. Hello, Soul Fam. Caught the live. Yes, so good to have you here, love. Gayton is here as well. Scorching in Mojave Valley, 122 yesterday. Oh my goodness. I thought it was hot out here in Arizona. It's been like 116, I think it was last week. And then today and yesterday, I think it's like 111. 122 though. Oh my goodness. I remember a couple of years when I first moved to Arizona about 20 years ago, it was like 120, 125. So I definitely know what that feels like, but it's been a while and that is hot. Nikki is here. Hello, love. Good to see you. Robbie is here as well. Happy Sunday. Empress Cherna is here. Good to see you. Bobby Bell is here. Meredith's here. Good to see you, love. All right. So I'm super excited to dive into this week. We have so much to cover. It's insane. So I'm going to kind of go relatively quickly, but I'm not going to leave anything out. So we're going to dive right in. So this is the weekly reading from August 2nd to August 9th. And remember that we are in the self officially now. The monthly card from the annual reading all the way back in January that I pulled for August was self-love. And the one for July was past life, present power. So we've activated a lot of that. Those of you who got past life readings in July, good job. You definitely felt a lot of activation, cleansing, and healing. Those of you who didn't, it's not too late. Feel free to get a past life reading or just do a meditation on your own to connect to your past lives and see if you can get some information there, because there's a lot there for us right now as we segue and really make the full transition now into the self-love month of August. So throughout this entire month, this week, we really want to, first of all, make sure that we're focusing on our self-love, really recognizing what brings us joy, what brings us happiness and pleasure, what gives us a sense of accomplishment and success and fulfillment, and make sure that we're adding and taking time to integrate those kind of things into our daily life and taking the time to do it. This means doing your morning routines if you have one, doing your evening rituals, allowing yourself to take those long goddess baths or god baths, right? The fellas do it too. It's super important to relax into your spirit, take care of yourself, pamper yourself, and do the things that you enjoy during this month. So that's the first spirit message. Make sure that you're taking time throughout all of August to self-love. And that includes the way you speak about yourself internally and externally. Are you being kind to yourself when it's just you in your head speaking to yourself? Are you saying nice things? Are the things you're saying to yourself something that you would say to your mother or your father or your soul tribe, somebody that you love, right? We want to make sure that we're being as kind to ourselves and being as much of a cheerleader for ourselves as we are for other people. Super, super important. It also means taking time, resting when you need to, drinking lots of water, taking time to cater to the body, any body care that you've been called to do, movement, exercise, cleansing, balanced diet, whatever it is, make sure you're focusing on that. And then, of course, self-love of your mind, right? Are you stressed? Are you worried? Are you overthinking? Are you, stuck in your head? Making sure that you create balance in the mind by moving into the heart and also taking care of whatever you're stressed over so that you no longer have those thoughts waning on you. Meditation is really great for mental self-care and self-love, okay? And then finally, emotional self-care. Are you honoring your emotions? Are you letting yourself express your emotions? Are you giving yourself time to let your emotions flow? And are you making sure that you also study your emotions and understand what they're saying and process them so that you can go through them, move through them, and come out at the other side with a more positive energy or a more wise awareness? This is also super important for your self-love, and that's the emotional aspects. Okay, so mind, body, soul, we want to be all aware of our self-love in all areas. Okay, now with that being said, we are transforming at an amazing, profound level. We are activating aspects of our spirit and our body, mind, and heart that we have never touched before or haven't felt in a long time. Some of you are feeling inner child activations. Some of you are feeling that sense of connection to, your childhood, your innocence, your joy, your giggly nature, your excitement, your adventurousness. Those parts of you are waking up. These are activations of your spirit. Okay. Same thing for the divine feminine aspects. Some of you are feeling more intuitive. You're feeling more sensual. We got that sacred sexuality card last week, that feminine energy of power and sacred sensuality. And you're feeling maybe mysterious and a little bit more nurturing than usual and comforting. This is your feminine energy. That may be an activation you're receiving, an activation of your divine feminine. Or maybe you're receiving an activation of your divine masculine, where you're feeling really courageous, strong, you're ready to move forward, you're feeling super productive, you're really having that sense of fire internally that's driving you forward to succeed and fulfill the goals that you have. This is that divine masculine energy. And I will say that that seems to be most prominent right now because of the energy we're going into with the Lion's Gate. We're in Leo season. We've got a lot of energy for that right now as well. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that, but I want you all to pay attention to the way in which you're transforming and what you're seeing activate within you during the challenges you're facing or the confusions you might be having or any feelings of stagnancy. Because in those times of heaviness, like we talked about last week, there's a lot of information there. And though we're transforming in big ways, it can sometimes feel overwhelming and heavy. But when we look at it and we study it, we actually can realize that there's so much growth happening in that process. And that can help us really get through those feelings of heaviness. So I want you to pay attention to the ways you're activating, not in the ways that you're being challenged, because those challenges are actually activating new strengths within you. Okay. And that's even more reason to self-love, self-love through in your endurance, in your ability to be resilient, in your ability to, continue to push forward and stay strong in your faith and your will to succeed, because that's what's going to really get you through. And those are the tests. Remember, we talked a lot about tests last week. Those are the tests of our initiation and of our transformation. Are we going to push through those times? And are we going to really activate and be aware of the way we're activating throughout our journey? And as we become aware of it, it helps to amplify those activations even more. If you don't know what spiritual activations are, essentially, it's just when you get these quantum leaps of growth in your spirit, you get this really strong level up of your energy, of your characteristics, of your success, of your healing, your cleansing, and things like that. And we're all going to be receiving this in major ways this week because of the transformations we've already been undergoing as a mass collective in the world that we can see so clearly, but also in our own personal lives. So this transformation is a big shift. It is intense. We're going to feel a lot of big, epic leaps of growth, and it will feel kind of fast. But realistically, it's an actual slow transition and transformation. It's gradual. The transformation goes in phases. So we want to make sure that we pay attention that we're to the phases and know that the transformation is going to happen. And we may not get exactly what we want from it right away, but that's because we're not complete in it yet. The transformation is taking time to get it right. So give it patience. And allow yourself to recognize the beauty of the phases of transformation that you're in, instead of trying to, steamroll to the outcome. Now, there's also a really strong energy. We talked about self-love. Now, there's also a very strong energy of unconditional love in this week's energy coming up. And if you were able to join me in the Starseed Saturday meditation yesterday, then you know that the unconditional love card came up from the Arcturians, my very, very, very connected galactic family. I don't want to say they're my favorite, but they are the ones that I connect with really, really deeply. And the Arcturians are a ninth dimensional ET race, and they are incredibly, incredibly healing. They're the master teachers. They have a very, very strong vibration. They're very telepathic. They actually don't have much physical form, though they do come through kind of showing us a somewhat physical form so that we can understand that we're connecting with them. But they're a very powerful energy, and they brought forth the card unconditional love yesterday and let us know that that was going to be our fuel through this transition and transformation in our lives. And it's also the fuel, the key to unlock the activations that we're receiving from the cosmos this week. So we want to stay in a vibration of unconditional love, which means that we want to stay in a state of love no matter what our circumstance, no matter what we're going through. Can we still stay in a vibration of love? Can you find something to fall in love with in every phase and every circumstance of what you're going through right now? Because if you can do that, then you're passing the tests and raising your vibration and unlocking the codes to receive your DNA activations on a cosmic level, which is going to be epic. It's as epic as it sounds, okay? So this is a transmuting force as well. Unconditional love helps to clear out any heaviness. It clears out any anger, any darkness, any shadows. It transmutes it. We've been talking a lot about alchemy lately and transmutation. And this is what I'm talking about with unconditional love. Unconditional love is the most powerful transmuting force in all of the galaxies. Okay, so we really want to stay in that vibration of unconditional love and do our best to activate it and really stand in that strength in knowing that we have to fight for it. Sometimes it's not going to be easy to be in that state of unconditional love, but we're going to have to really push ourselves to see it from that lens. And we also got some information from the Vegans yesterday in our meditation. They came through with a homing beacon card. They let us know that we are becoming that vortex of energy, that homing beacon for unconditional love that was given from the Arcturians, and also that resonates within us infinitely as we connect to source and our heart energy. And so when we allow that unconditional love to flow through us, heal ourselves, cleanse ourselves, and activate ourselves, we then become the homing beacon in our families, in our communities, in the population for that unconditional love to be received by others. So this is a powerful energy that is really changing the world when we allow ourselves to receive it. And then finally, we had these Syrians come through, which I think is perfect to talk about with the Lion's Gate, which we'll get into in a little bit, the 8-8 portal. But the Syrians came through yesterday as our final card, letting us know to focus on our long-term goals, that they're here to really support us and help us manifest the things that we want in our life moving forward in the future, and that they want us to redraft and re-edit and just reassess and reform any of the long-term goals that we feel like we need to, so that we can get really clear and specific about what we truly want, and we can focus on that and manifest it in our lives. This is a really strong energy that is available to us this week with the 8-8 Lionsgate portal. That is a Syrian star system portal, so we're going to talk about that, and this is why the Syrians brought that forth, to let us know there's a lot of magic if we can really focus on our long-term goals during this 8-8 portal at the end of the week. So we'll get into more of the 8-8 portal in just a little bit, but I wanted to continue to go through these spirit messages. These are the messages, like I said, that I'm getting from meditations and downloads from my spirit guides and, intuitive dreams and premonitions and all sorts of things. And so the next message that I was getting is really calling us all to be responsible and focus on what we're investing in. What are we investing in our life right now? There's two specific things that Spirit brought me to focus on in regards to what we're investing in. The first thing is, are we investing in the machine? The machine being the matrix, the industrialization of America, things that are just truly very, very AI and artificial and machine driven. These are things that are not natural. Okay. So the other side of things is the natural side. Which one are we investing in? Are we investing in the machine, or are we investing in nature? Nature being the earth, the elements, the land, the nature of ourselves, our divine natural intelligence, our innate intelligence, our intuition, our natural system of processing things, our ability to be patient and let things naturally evolve. Which are you investing in? I'm not going to tell you one is wrong or the other is right. I'm just simply calling us to think about this, because we want to really have a balance. It's not to say that we should all invest in only nature, because if we did that, we would probably not have so many of the amazing, technological advances that we have that make our lives so convenient and amazing, and all sorts of other things. But we also don't want to only invest in the machine, right? Because if we were to only invest in the machine, then we don't have any nature. We don't have any natural food. We don't have any animals around. We don't have the sustainability of our natural selves. And so this is something we really want to focus on this week. And this is kind of a part of the next phase of the spiritual war. We talked about the spiritual war last month. We're definitely in the midst of it as we exit the Kali Yuga, the dark age, right? And we enter the golden age of the Aquarian era. And so we're really moving into that right now. And we're in that limbo. We're right in the middle of that transformation. And what an epic time to be alive, because this doesn't happen for, I think it's 26,000 years. It's every 26,000 years that we move into a new, a new yuga, a new stage of humanity. And so we are in a new wave of consciousness. We are experiencing this transformation in such profound ways. And with that, we want to pay attention to balance, and we want to make sure that we stay balanced. So with that, we want to notice, are we investing in so much of the machine that we're forgetting our natural aspects? Or are we investing in so much of our nature, or the natural realm, and not recognizing how we can actually benefit from some of the aspects of the machine or the matrix as well? Because we are here in this world for a reason, learning how to transition and transcend into higher vibration through it all. And if we try to ignore one over the other, then we're not actually incorporating the all and finding that beautiful balance and synergy with all that is, which we are, right? So this is really powerful stuff that we want to focus on. Are you investing in nature or the machine? Are you investing more in artificial than authentic? Ask yourself that and make sure you find balance there. All right, I want to check on everybody and see how we're all doing. We've got Phil's here. Thank you so much, Phil, for the 555 donations. So grateful for that. Nico's here as well. Jasmine is here. Oh, thank you for the love of my pigtails. Let's see. Yes. So powerful. Leslie's here too. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. Phil says Schumann resonance had an amplitude of 6, the quality 8.6, and the frequency an average of 7.85. Awesome. Thank you so much, Phil. I know that there'll be even more spikes throughout the week. The Syrians have been coming through so much this week. Makes total sense. We're going to get to all the 8-8 stuff. So let's dive into it a little bit more. So with that being said, okay, paying attention to what you're investing in. Now going from there, we really want to also invest in our ancestral wisdom. Now, this is kind of the other side of it, right? We want to focus on, nature and the machine, artificial and authentic, this kind of polarization, but then there's also this energy of old and new, okay? And so, we're in a new age, we're in a new wave of consciousness, and because we're transitioning into a new age of consciousness, we also want to make sure that we don't just only invest in the new, that we also bring up the traditions and the power and the magic and the ancestral wisdom of the old, so that we can create a balance and that we can really truly not leave behind certain aspects of our human evolution that is very important. So I've been feeling a lot of ancestral wisdom coming through. This is encouraging us to connect to our roots. This means any of your ancestral lineages that you feel called to explore, do that. Learn the traditions, learn the things that they were doing in times of need or dark times or times where they were trying to manifest things. See if you can find the lineages that have those kind of wisdoms for you, because there's just this energy of activation with that as well. Just as we're getting activations from the stars, we're also getting activations from our earth lineages. Okay, so we want to pay attention to that. There's going to be a lot of healing and cleansing and activation available to you. Maybe you have some past life power or some ancestral power that wants to come up, or maybe you just need to go back into those ancestral roots to help cleanse or clear or heal certain dynamics and create new ones from there. Either way, there's wisdom there that you want to gain. And as we rise into our purpose and into our vibration from these wisdoms that we're gaining, both in recognizing what we're balancing in and what we're investing in, as well as our self-love and awareness of what we really truly value in ourselves. And then with that, having this sensation of transformation and activation, with all of that, we're rising into our purpose. Okay, that's the next message. We're rising into our purpose in a big way. And this transformation, because it's so profound and because it goes in stages, it's so important to be patient, because we can all feel that there's something bigger coming, and that we all feel that we're destined for something even more. We're destined for something even bigger than what we're experiencing now. And we may not know exactly what that is yet or have all of the answers, but we have that sense of urgency, and we want to remind ourselves to slow down, because that sense of urgency is intuitive. It's a premonition, and it's not here yet. We don't have to be urgent, because our purpose is not ready for us yet, or we're not ready for our purpose quite yet. So if we don't know what that next thing is that's coming, we don't want to try to overanalyze or overthink or try to overcreate a solution or outcome, because then we're rushing spirit and we're actually trying to fill in details that spirit never gave us, and that's going to get us really confused and off track. So we are rising to our purpose. I am validating all of you in the ways you felt that there's something bigger for you. You have a destiny to fulfill. You know that it's coming, but you're just not quite clear on it yet. Just trust that it's going to become clear. And there are things to help you start to generate the energy of clarity and start to open your mind and heart to what spirit may be pointing you in the direction of. And so with that, this is going to be important to clear what's holding you back in this week from your purpose, and also to help identify throughout this month more of what your purpose is by bringing in and opening up more to your intuition and the guidance from your spirit guides. I put a little event together for this, a free event for all of you, because I thought that it was really important for us all to connect and to know that we're not alone in this feeling of wanting more, or feeling more for ourselves, but not really knowing exactly what that means yet. And so I'm putting together a free event. It's called Propel Into Your Purpose, and it's on August 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. So write this down in your calendars, or write it down in your notebooks right now so that you have it, and you can always come back to this video and write it down again. And I will put it in the description as well. But it's August 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time, and it's called Propel Into Your Purpose. It's a free event. And what we're going to do is we're going to just dive into understanding what our spirit has already shown us about our purpose, and really understanding what may be holding us back from seeing that, hearing that guidance, and also recognizing that guidance when it comes forth. That way we can get really clear on that energy as we move forward, and we can feel confident that we're not going to miss it, or we're not going to have to doubt or question those synchronicities and the way in which our purpose reveals itself to us when it's time. Okay. So if you're interested in that event, definitely let me know. You can email me, readingsbyrissa@gmail.com, but I will also be posting it in the email list. So if you've joined my email list already and you get my emails, then you'll definitely get a prompt for that event. But also I'll put a link in the description once this video uploads so that you all can sign up for that free event on August 16th. All right, so with that being said, let's continue going through here. Now we're going to start to get into we're close to the Lionsgate stuff, okay? The Lionsgate stuff is going to be really powerful for us, but I want to get through this last little bit. And this is kind of a segue, okay? So this is a really good way to introduce this. I talked a little bit last week about the mind and how the mind can get the best of us sometimes, and how we need to be able to have that mind-heart coherence. And I also did an IGTV video this week about the human mind and the spirit mind. So if you haven't seen that, make sure to follow me on Instagram, Readings by Rissa. I promise you it's worth it. Even if you don't have an Instagram account, just trust me. Get one and follow me, because I post things all day, every day. And I really encourage a lot more information from the readings and a lot more reflection. So you get a lot from those posts. But I did post a video about the heart mind about the human mind and the spirit mind and the difference between them. But today I want to talk a little bit more about the mind and heart coherence, and the fact that we have to recognize when we're really in our over analytical thoughts and when we're overthinking things. And we want to make sure we bring ourselves into our heart space. This is something I've been hearing throughout the entire week from my guides, and I'm hearing it again through this week, because we're going to be going through several levels of transformation, because those transformations are going to be pretty intense. We want to make sure that we're not overthinking it or assuming what the activations we're getting are before we really know or really can let them process fully. We want to be careful of not, just over analyzing and overthinking, over stressing, overworking the brain. And anytime you feel that tension in the brain, you want to breathe into the heart. Imagine your consciousness moving from the brain into the heart space. I always share the Tibetan monk meditation. It's the headless monk meditation. And they do this in Tibet. The Tibetan monks do this on the mountaintops, and they imagine themselves without a head. And when you do that, you instantly start to move into your heart. So if you ever feel yourself really in your head or overthinking, just do that headless monk meditation. You can also look it up and find more step-by-step guides to do it. But it's essentially just imagining yourself without a head and breathing deeply into the heart space and letting your consciousness rest in the heart. And that allows for this beautiful harmony between the mind and the heart, so that you don't get out of your heart and start to overthink and create just chaos in your mind that you don't need to. So that's a big part of it, because we are seeing a lot of mind and spirit duality, mind and heart duality, us feeling over emotional or us feeling over analytical, and needing to have that balance. Okay. And then, of course, we want to raise our vibration. I talked about this last week about how we need to make sure that our vibration is as high as the things we're asking for. Otherwise, we won't be able to see or hear the guidance to get to those things. So make sure your vibration is high. Make sure you're eating clean foods. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. This goes back into the self-love practices. Make sure you're getting rest, drinking lots of water, meditating, doing yoga, connecting to your spirit, staying in a state of unconditional love and joy, not being around energy that doesn't serve you or heavier, denser energies or experiences. Make sure you keep your vibration high, especially right now in a time where things like the virus and the quarantine are really keeping our vibration low because it's forcing us to social distance and be away from people. Community and having connections like this raises our vibration. So when we're socially distancing, we're lowering our vibration already, and we're being forced to, and then we're afraid of getting sick. That's another fear, is a way to lower our vibration. Anxiety, depression, all those things lower our vibration, and we're in a place and time right now where a lot of that is pretty we're prone to that. So we want to make sure that we raise our vibration and let ourselves stay in that energy, going out into nature, staying in the sun, things like that. And again, with the spiritual war, just another little aspect of this, the spiritual war that we are experiencing right now, this energy of, shadows and heaviness and darkness meeting the light, the light shining onto those things so it can be exposed and transmuted and rebalanced as necessary. We're in the spiritual war, lots of disclosure, lots of, deception being shown and revealed, lots of transformation and systems that haven't been working being dismantled so new ones can be created. This is the spiritual war, okay? But the spiritual war starts from within. It starts from within us first. So as much as we're outside interacting with people and recognizing that there's this duality and this spiritual tension and this good and evil energy dueling, we also want to recognize how that is happening within ourselves. What is dueling within you? Is it your mind dueling with your heart? Is it your human aspect dueling with your spirit aspect? Is it the matrix dueling with the 5D? Is it your masculine fighting with your feminine? Is it your inner child fighting with your present self? What is it that's dueling within you? And can you win the spiritual war? Can you allow them to find harmony? Can you allow the aspect of yourself that is in the higher vibration of those two to win and to prevail so that you can raise your vibration? Because once you win the spiritual war within, the spiritual war outside of us becomes much more manageable. We become much more aware of our role in it, and we become much more clear in our ways to navigate it. So really, really important to pay attention to winning that spiritual war within and whatever dualistic aspects are showing up for you during this time. And that will help you to move into the next phase of spiritual growth, activation, and initiation into that infinite light. Okay? Super exciting. All right, let's see what we're doing here. I just want to check on everybody. Jasmine says, Lionsgate portal, my cats are extra playful. Oh, how fun. Bobby's here, good to see you. Thanks for hearing me. Bianca's here, good to see you, love. Okay, good. So now let's continue going into this. Now we're gonna go right into the Lionsgate portal. I know that the full moon is tomorrow. Let's do the full moon tomorrow, or let's do the full moon right now, and then we'll go into the Lionsgate, because I think the full moon is a really good prep. Let's keep it chronological. I did it in my notes a little different, but let's go ahead and go into the full moon right now, because I think it's important for us to talk about that since it's tomorrow. So the full moon in Aquarius, okay, this is a full moon in Aquarius. It's tomorrow. It's hitting about midday tomorrow in most places. And this is a really beautiful activation and prep for the Lionsgate portal. Like I said, it is a full moon in Aquarius. Let's break that down first. Full moon is our time to release, let go, shed the things that have been holding us back from the new beginnings that we've stepped into from the new moon and the intentions we've set. When we're in that new moon energy, we're setting intentions to manifest by the next new moon. And so the full moon allows us to kind of check in and see if there's anything been holding us back and clear any of that stuff so that we can really propel even more into our intentions for the new moon. And so that's the full moon energy. Okay, we're releasing, we're clearing, we're letting go of stuff that's holding us back. And then the Aquarius energy. The Aquarius is a powerful sign because it is a unique one, and it's very much known for its uniqueness, its individuality, its unique essence. Okay, so first of all, we want to allow ourselves to really love that part of ourselves. Going back to that self-love, can we love the parts that make us so different than everybody else? And how can we allow those unique parts of us to be a beacon of light and love in the world, and be a part of our purpose as well? So that's the Aquarius energy. And the Aquarius energy is also an air sign, even though the Aquarius is the water bearer. So it does have a lot of water energy to it, where it's pouring water, it's letting things flow, it's following the flow, it's letting emotions be released, it's letting energy be let go of. And it's also this kind of intuitive energy with the water, but it's an air sign at its nature. And that means that it's kind of, you know, it's astral, it's intuitive, it's lighthearted, and it's unique. It's got different ideas. It's a daydreamer and a free thinker, and it revolves around freedom as well. So we're feeling that right now. So we're releasing. So let's think about that now that we know what full moon in Aquarius is. Being that it's a full moon in Aquarius, what we're doing here is we're releasing things that are holding us back from appreciating our unique qualities, our freedom, and our ability to just be this intuitive spiritual being that we are, and let things flow and follow the flow. Okay, so anything that's keeping us from doing that is what we want to release this full moon. And so that can be a part of your ritual, writing down those things that you want to release and burning that paper at the end of your prayer, or meditating to clear it. Now, the full moon in Aquarius is tomorrow. That's August 3rd. And the number reduces numerologically to the number 15. We've been having a 15 activation every week for about 5 weeks now, which is pretty amazing. And the 15 is the alchemist code. So that means that we're literally becoming the alchemist, and we're initiating into our alchemy with this repeated activation of astrological alchemy. And this is a beautiful energy of transmutation, making something out of nothing, making something less valuable into something incredibly valuable. This is that energy. So we're also going to be feeling that this week. Now, I also paid attention to the numbers here in regards to the degrees of the moon. The full moon in Aquarius is at 11 degrees in Aquarius. And if you remember from that new moon, as we've transitioned into Leo, the sun is in 11 degrees Leo for Leo season. So we're activating an 1111 code with this full moon as well. This is a portal energy of double new beginnings, of activation of even more expansiveness as we emerge into our spiritual alignment and into our purpose that is divine for us. And this is allowing us to listen to our inner voice more. The way that we listen to our inner voice is going to dictate the way we navigate this path. If we choose to ignore our inner voice, or try to pretend like it's not real, or doubt it, then we're going to most likely get a little off track, or have to have some kind of wake up moments from spirit to get us back on track. So it's best to just listen to your inner voice and trust it during this time, so that you can have the big breakthroughs that you need to get you moving forward in the next phase of your growth. And with all of this, we have a T-square with Uranus during this full moon, which is pretty unique. And Uranus is all about change and freedom. This is what rules Aquarius. And this is why Aquarius is so adamant about that energy of freedom and expansion. And so with the T-square, we're really adding to this, and we're really allowing this energy to be revolutionary and create a lot of change and a lot of big breakthroughs. So we're going to see that in our personal lives, in our communities, and in the mass collective this week. So we want to reform our life for the purpose of abundance and positive gain. So that goes back into paying attention to your long-term goals, reforming them and reassessing them as necessary, so that you can really step into the abundance and positive growth that you want. So make sure you're getting really clear about what you want this week. It can be a great time to start that list tomorrow during the full moon of what you want after your ritual, and then continue that focus on your long-term goals for the Lion's Gate. So it's a strong energy with this Leo energy. Since we are in Leo season, Leo is all about that confidence, that courage, that power forward leadership and strength, and this regalness as well. Leo also has a big heart, though. It's such a lovable sign, and it's such a big, compassionate energy as well. So we want to just make sure that with that compassion and that big courage and confidence energy, that we don't get too over bold or over aggressive or overconfident in things, that we really make sure that we're balanced this week. Because that energy is going to be very strong, especially with the Lion's Gate, which we'll talk about in just a second. So be careful not to over aggress or over kind of over express. And then the moon and the sun is trine Chiron during the full moon in Aquarius. And so it's going to be important to pay attention to the way you create. Your creative energy is really powerful with this trine. This is your intuitive aspect with the moon and nurturing aspect on what you want to create and nurture in your life. And then the sun aspect of action and shining light on that for more awareness with the Chiron energy of healing. And so there's a lot of purpose activation just naturally going to occur here, where you're going to start to get inspirations and awarenesses of what your purpose is and what you want to be doing to create with the universe and how you want to co-create with the universe. So this is where we're going to start to get into the manifestation, the alchemy, and really allowing those activations of the cosmic level this week to promote more purpose in our lives. The moon is opposed to Saturn in this full moon, which is an important one to pay attention to. It's going to cause maybe a little bit of tension because Saturn is pretty serious this week. That means that it's going to call us to be more responsible and accountable for things that we haven't been doing great at or haven't been putting a lot of energy into that we should be putting energy into. This is going to be coming through us in intuitive guidance. So listen to that inner voice on what you feel like you may be ignoring or putting off or being complacent in that you shouldn't be, okay? So be present as well in your spiritual inspirations and in your creative aspects. This is where that creative expression comes in. When you're in the present moment, you're actually going to be activating a lot of divine intelligence because of these cosmic aspects of this week. And so that's going to help you become more inspired to do things for yourself and fulfill long-term goals. It's also going to help you to feel more confident and courageous in stepping into your purpose and in your passion. And it's also going to help you in creating and expressing the energy of inspiration and spiritual growth as you listen to your intuitive guidance and receive messages from your spirit guides. So this is all going to come together in a beautiful expression of creativity, wisdom, harmony, growth, leadership as well. We're going to step into more ways we can lead in our light. This is a really beautiful maturity of our spiritual growth. So make sure throughout this week and this full moon energy, because the full moon energy will last for up to 3 days after. So if you missed, the full moon tomorrow for some reason, you can still do your rituals over the next 2 days after that. But I want you to just make sure you ask your guides and your intuition if you ever start to get confused or stuck or get a little angry or frustrated this week, because your guides are right there with you. There's a lot of energy intuitively for you to tap into. So trust that you can receive those answers and you can get yourself that clarity that you need. And if you can't, if you're having a hard time, you can always reach out to me for a one-on-one reading. I do general readings, past life readings, energy cleansings, cosmic connection readings, a whole bunch. And I also coach you all on how to tap into your intuition. I have a whole coaching program and course that you can learn about and tap into if you're interested as well. So if you want to schedule a session, I will put a link in the description for you to do that as well. But just remember overall, everyone, that this is a big awakening. We are in a great awakening right now. And this is an awakening that is happening in all forms for all people. And so we want to be compassionate with each other. We want to be there for each other. And we want to really honor the ways we're all moving through those phases so that we can stay in that vibration of unconditional love for ourselves and the world. Okay. So that is the full moon in Aquarius. How are you all feeling with the full moon in Aquarius? How is that going for you? I think we're doing pretty amazing on time, by the way. Like, I'm going pretty fast, but I think it's at a good pace. Let me know how you all are feeling about the messages and how that's coming through. The last thing I want to mention about this part of it before we get into the Lion's Gate, which we'll finish up with, is that the star seeds are really, really waking up right now. I do those star seed meditations every Saturday at noon Pacific time. If you feel like you're a star seed, or if you're curious as to what a star seed is, or you want to learn more about the cosmos or UFOs or ETs, this is a great time to do so, because we're getting so many cosmic activations this week with the Lion's Gate that we'll talk about in just a second. I know I keep putting it off. It's like the suspense is building, but the star seeds are waking up, and we really want to allow ourselves to do that, to not have fear about the unknown of the cosmos, but instead lean in with curiosity and excitement, because when we do, we find so many beautiful gifts and activations available for us. And then finally, I wanted to also mention that there's still this energy in September that I'm feeling, and it's pretty unpredictable. So, August, we're all about self love. We're feeling a lot of awareness of ourselves. We're building ourselves up. We're raising our vibrations. The reason why this is so important, again, not just because we're going through transformation and we need to keep our vibration high to be able to move through it with ease and without any sickness or pain or, things that could knock us off track. We also want to keep our vibration high, because whatever is happening in September, it may jar us a little bit. It may be a little shocking. And if our vibration is low, that's going to really rock us in a way that we don't want to have to go through. We want to have our vibration high so that if anything unexpected happens or unpredictable happens, that we're at a place where we can really handle it, maneuver it, and we feel confident and centered. We don't want to be in a low vibration or uncentered or unbalanced when things go unexpectedly. Okay. And I don't know what it is. Like I said, it's unpredictability. It's an unpredictable energy. It's a big energy. It feels like it's going to shake us. I don't know exactly what it is. It may not have the energy may not have formed fully yet. And that might be why I can't feel it, but there is something there for sure. All right. So let's go into this. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Let me go into this Lionsgate. I'm like, why can't I think of it? All right, the Lionsgate portal. This is super exciting. How are we all doing, by the way? Let me check on everybody. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, good. Everybody's receiving this. I feel like you're all just like in the zone. Cool. So nobody said anything recently. So I think you're just in the zone. All right, so let's go into this amazing Lionsgate portal. This is happening on August 8th. It happens every August 8th. 88 is the portal number and the portal date. And this is the Lion's Gate. Why do we call it the Lion's Gate? Well, we call it the Lion's Gate because it happens in Leo season, and it is a gateway into the divine. Okay, so we're literally opening a gateway in the Leo season, which is the lion energy, and we're opening a gateway to the divine. And this is a gateway to the divine within ourselves and outside of ourselves. This happens in a very strong astrological lineup. The astrological lineup is when Sirius, the Sirius star, the brightest star in our galaxy, lines up with the sun and the earth, and it creates this beautiful line of energy. And we end up receiving a ton of energy from the Sirius star, and it kind of amplifies it from the sun, our sun. But the Sirius star is known as our spiritual sun. And so we're literally falling right in alignment to the spiritual sun, which is Sirius. And we're getting all of that energy, all of that solar power from that star, okay? And this is a big energy, just like the sunlight affects us and charges us up with that vitamin D and that powerful energy of warmth and strength and solar power on our solar plexus. The Sirius star, our spiritual sun, also does the same, but it enriches us with this cosmic light that helps us to activate our DNA in a very powerful way, and also our divine spirit. Okay. So this is also pretty amazing, not only because of the alignment of the stars, but the way that the stars align with Egypt. Egypt has known about this powerful Lion's Gate for eons of time. Ancient Egypt knew about this all the way back then. And ancient Egypt was really the mecca of originality and a lot of these amazing downloads and gateways and awarenesses of the stars and astrology. And so we know that the pyramids of Giza are aligned with the Orion's belt. And when 88 comes around and the Sirius star aligns with the sun and earth, the Orion's belt constellation also lines up perfectly with the pyramids of Giza and the Sphinx. and shines light onto the Sphinx. And so this is a really powerful thing to witness. This is something I've always wanted to witness. One day I will. I know it. It's going to be powerful to be able to see that Sirius starlight line up and the Orion's Belt constellation line up with all of these amazing sacred sites in Egypt. And this is known as the Egyptian New Year. Okay, so this is a powerful energy for ancient Egypt in celebration of its traditions. And the reason why this is the Egyptian New Year also, and why they were so called to celebrate it, was because during this time on 8/8, the Nile rises the most at its peak. And it really provides sustenance and nourishment for the land and for the people. And so this energy of the river rising to nourish the land in Egypt is really powerful. And this is something not only worshipped in Egypt, but also in other parts of Africa. We have goddesses like Oshun and Yamaya or Yamoya, and this energy of the river goddess. Anuket is also the Egyptian goddess of the river Nile, the Nile River. And so they have so many different deities and goddesses that are connected to the river and the nourishment of the water on land. And so we honor them during this time as well. This is a great time to bring in those goddesses and deities for your rituals and for your ceremonies, and just honoring that history by studying it and praying, praying for that energy to be nourishing the land, because Mama Gaia is really needing, water. There's a drought in the desert everywhere. And Mama Gaia needs that nourishment, and she also needs us to bring in this energy of love and awareness of how to bring nourishment to her, how to call for nourishment to her. So that can be something that you can do if you're called to as well. All right, so with that Lion's Gate, it's a really powerful energy. It's all in the spirit of the Leo sign, which is all about that confidence, that courage, that spiritual sun. So spiritual growth and maturity as well. All of these that we've already talked about, these themes throughout this week, that is so powerful. And it's impossible not to have these themes come up energetically and spiritually during the week of the 8/8 portal, because it's such a strong vibration. Now, the 8/8 portal, the Lion's Gate, is also the infinity portal. Okay, this is allowing us to align with the infinite light within us. Remember that spiritual sun, Sirius, is shining its cosmic light into our bodies, onto our spirits, and it is allowing us to tap into that infinite spiritual light. And so it's going to help us stay centered and balanced. It's going to help activate us in our purpose, our passion, in our spiritual leadership and intuitive divinity as well. And we're going to feel even more confidence, courage, and love of ourselves, of the world, and of the communities that we're in because of it. So this is all so in alignment to what we're going through as a country, as a world, and in our own personal lives. Now, I also want to mention that Leo is ruled by the sun, so even more solar energy here. So we really want to focus on our solar plexus during this time. Our solar plexus is what's going to receive so much of that solar power energy. And that's why our confidence and our power is being initiated so strong with this as well. And so I want to talk a little bit more about the actual messages for this Lion's Gate real quick before we end with some more astrology influences and then the cards. Those were the general awarenesses and history of the Lion's Gate. I also want to mention the Dogon tribe in West Africa, very connected to the Syrians. They were the ones who were visited by the Nomos water beings from Sirius that descended into the water and swam to shore and told the Dogons all about the Sirius star. And ever since, the Dogons have celebrated and worshipped the Sirius star system as well. So they're very much a part of this tradition of the Lion's Gate celebrations as well. So I don't want to leave them out. We definitely want to honor the ancestors, right? We want to honor the traditions. We want to honor the history and the culture of these gates. We don't want to just receive the activations and not ask to connect to the ancestors and honor the ancestors, because if we don't honor the ancestors, we're actually not going to receive the activations, because the ancestors are so much a part of that energy. We have to honor, we have to respect that. We have to give love and gratitude and honor to receive what we're wanting to receive. So make sure that you're doing something to honor that energy, whether it's researching or learning more, or just honoring it on your altar. And so this year, 2020 specifically for the Lionsgate, I just want to tell you a couple of things that this Lionsgate this year is really activating. Of course, it's activating our 2020 vision, our insight, our ability to see beyond the veil. We're seeing into the spirit world. We're activating more of our spiritual awareness. We're also activating a lot of freedom this year with the Lionsgate. We're really freeing ourselves from systems and constructs and ways of thinking that have held us down or oppressed us or oppressed others. We're also stepping into more spiritual growth based on our solo efforts. This is something that is really important for this year specifically. We are being activated and initiated based on the energy we personally have put in. Sometimes when we're around a lot of people who have put in a lot of work for things, we can kind of skate by an initiations just by being in their vibration or being at their level or receiving the awareness from them. But if we're not doing the work this year specifically in our own personal journey and within, we can't do that. We can't just kind of ride the vibrational coattails of our friends or soul tribes or, spiritual teachers. We actually have to do the spiritual work this year. And so our growth is based on our own spiritual work. If you haven't been doing the spiritual work, but you've just been listening about it or, considering it, but haven't really been doing it, you're going to know. You're going to know because it's going to be a hard go at it this year. You're going to have some tough ways of staying in that vibration. But that's to show you that all you've got to do is put the work in and really level up into that vibration of that strength and confidence and faith in that energy in order to obtain that growth and new phase of growth. Another one for this year with the Lionsgate activations is DNA activation. And a lot of our DNA activations come through soulmate connections, sacred sexuality. We had that card last week. So we're really activating a lot of that within our DNA. So if you have met your soulmate this year, or if you've already been with your soulmate, this is a time where that sacred sexuality is going to activate a lot of DNA awareness and intuitive energy in your body and in your soul. And it's going to create a magnetism. So even if you're not in a soulmate relationship, or if you're attracting your soulmate relationship right now, this is going to be a time where it's really magnetized. You're going to feel the magnetism of your soulmate and those connections coming to you. Also soul tribe connections. Okay. This doesn't have to always be romantic. This is also our soul families. So there is this need for all of us to connect this year in order for us to move to the next phase of our spiritual growth. So we're going to notice that this year with the Lionsgate, there's going to be even more magnetism of our soulmate connections and soul tribe connections. And then finally, confidence boosting affirmations. This is something that we want to use this year for the Lionsgate to keep our vibration high and to keep us countering any doubt or fear or judgment of ourselves or others that may be keeping us down. Okay. All right. Let me see if there's anything else here on the 8-8 portal. The Sirius star is the brightest star in the galaxy. It is the most powerful. It is the spiritual sun, like I said. We've learned a lot of our lessons from the Sirians. So whenever we connect to the Sirians, they usually tell us a lot about what they've gone through and what to avoid so that we don't go through what they went through. They're really great teachers for us. They're kind of like our big brothers. And the Sirius star is also known as the dog star. And essentially it represents the dog days of August. And so that's kind of why we celebrate it around this time too, and why that alignment is so, or really why people call it the dog days of August that way, because there's this energy of initiation and they're not always easy, right? The dog days can sometimes be really laborious and difficult because we are having to go through these spiritual activations and being aware of what we haven't put the work in that we need to put work in for, what we haven't been listening to or following guidance on that we need to, so we can get back on track. And sometimes that can feel a little frustrating and a little off-putting, but it is for a better purpose. It is for abundance. It is for activation. And that is a big result of the Lionsgate portal. And the Lionsgate portal, if you turn 8 on its side, it's the infinity symbol, right? So it also represents infinite abundance, prosperity, and inner wisdom. And those are the activations that we're receiving. But we've got to go through the initiations first. And the initiations aren't always fun, but the activations are always worth it. Okay, so that's what we want to pay attention to. The infinity symbol is also similar to the DNA spiral. So we are receiving those DNA activations with that as well. And then finally, pay attention to your thoughts and your emotions. Those are going to tell you what you're investing in and what you're not. If you're investing in shadow or human mind over spirit mind or light, if you're investing in, hopelessness versus faith, we want to pay attention to that, because that's what's going to help navigate us in the work we need to do to step more into our higher vibration and receive the activations we're meant to receive. Okay. All right, we're doing good. We're at an hour, but I only have a couple more little notes for astrology. Let me know how you're all feeling with the Lionsgate portal, if you're feeling ready for it, if you're feeling excited for it. A couple things I'll tell you to focus on the Lionsgate portal, which is on Saturday, is to, focus on your long-term goals. Write down what you want for your life in the next 5 to 10 years, and really believe that it can happen. Meditate on it, imagine it happening, allow yourself to call on, the Sirius star system, honor the ancient Egyptians, honor the Dogons and West Africans, and really honor the energy of the Syrians to bring in that light, and just watch what happens. And also anything you can do to obtain more spiritual growth, whether it's a reading, it's a, tapping into some research spiritually, or meditation or yoga, whatever you can do to raise your vibration. That's also a great ritual for the Lionsgate. And also calling on the Lyrans. The Lyrans are another starseed group, an ET group that are the lion beings of the cosmos. And the Lyrans are very connected to the Leo energy. They're the same kind of archetype, and they have a really powerful vibration as well. So I would also call on those, the Lyrans, even the Orions, because we've got that Orion's belt alignment in ancient Egypt happening during the 8-8 portal. You can also call forth the Syrians, of course, because it is the Sirius star that we're aligning with. So there's a lot of ET races that can really be useful during this time. Even the Vegans or the Arcturians from yesterday's meditation with the unconditional love and the homing beacon of the vortex of energy can also be really great to call on. Okay. So any kind of cosmic awareness you can activate as well on the 8-8 portal will be a great way to celebrate. All right, let's finish up with the last couple of astrological influences before we pull cards. Another astrological influence of this week is on August 4th, which is Tuesday. Venus is 150 degrees to Saturn that day, which is going to cause us to want a little more alone time in order to get clear on what we want to create and how we want to express ourselves. You may feel a little tension and resistance to your pleasure on Tuesday, so make sure that you purposefully put your pleasure as a priority so that you can get out of that funk if you get into one. And if you are, also just give yourself some alone time to rest and honor and cater to what you need on Tuesday. Then on August 9th, Mercury trines Chiron for some really beautiful communication of healing and communication of love. And that love communication is also going to open up the door for more ancient wisdom and connection to our ancestors, and also going to promote some abundance and allow ourselves to notice the ways in which we're capable of generating abundance for ourselves through asking for it, communicating with love and appreciation and expectation of that abundance. And also we're going to notice how we can heal ourselves and others through communication on August 9th, which is next Sunday. Okay. So lots that we covered in 1 hour. Amazing that we were able to fit all of that energy in. How are all of you feeling? We're going to go ahead and pull some cards to summarize this reading, but I want to just check in with everybody. Kayla says, spot on with consistency, doing the work, daily practice, 1 day at a time. Thank you for these messages. Appreciate you so much. I appreciate you too, Kayla. You're doing so great in the coaching program. I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to get on a call with you soon. The Celestial Heart is here as well, saying yay. So good, everybody. You are ready. Phil is ready and excited as well. Awesome. Okay, so let's finish up with some cards. I'm going to pull the Mary Magdalene card for the beginning of the week. These cards have been so powerful for us lately. Really powerful. And if you haven't read the Magdalene manuscript, then definitely get that book. There's so many amazing messages that Mary channels through in that book that really tells the true story of her and Yeshua, the way in which they were practicing ancient Egyptian magic as well, and how a lot of what they learned and did came from those practices. This is really powerful awareness. So we honor them for honoring the ancient Egyptians. And we'll go ahead and pull from the goddess Isis deck for the middle of the week to honor the ancient Egyptians and ancestors as well. And then I'm getting some cosmic alignment with the Angels of Atlantis cosmic cards here for the end of the week. We'll also pull another card for the astrological influences. I'm going to go ahead and just do one card for both the Lionsgate and the full moon. What do they want to pull for that? The angels. Healing with the angels. Okay. Healing with the angels for the full moon and Lionsgate card. Beautiful. All right, everyone. Let's see what we have. This is so exciting. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, cool. All right, Mary Magdalene comes forth with the Illumination card. The Illumination card. This is letting us know that we are being illuminated. We are being lit up. This is our initiation into infinite light, just like I titled this reading. This illumination of ourselves in our spirit form, our emotional body, our mental body, our physical body, all of it, illuminating our consciousness, leveling us up in a huge way and allowing us to be beacons of light for ourselves and for the world by allowing this energy to come through. This is a really, really powerful vibration for the beginning of the week. So we want to honor the illumination of our spirit and we want to just let that light in. That's the biggest thing. Let the light in, okay? Beginning of the week. Middle of the week, we've got this beautiful scarab here for the goddess Isis card, and it is the life restored card. Okay, I'm going to read the message. The card itself says, spiritual resurrection is gifted to you now. We just talked about this last week. This is powerful stuff. It says, whatever part of you or your life that you thought to be dead is being revived and will flourish back into life. Just as the phoenix rises from the fire, transitioning from death into life, so too will you rise again, healed and renewed. So no matter what challenges you're going through, no matter how heavy it may feel, no matter what tests you're going through, your life is being restored through these activations, through these initiations, and it will feel like a death at first, but you're rising up out of it, renewed and restored. So allow yourself to honor that self-love, self-care, and trust that you're going to get through it, no matter what that looks like for you right now. Then the end of the card, Archangel Michael comes through with protection and divine willpower with the energy of patience. This is all about knowing that this is a gradual transformation, that it comes in phases like we talked about, and we want to be patient through our initiations and patient with spirit as it provides the blessings that we know it will provide to us in divine timing and divine order. So be patient and trust, because that is also a test. If you get too impatient and you start to try to create things on your own or force things on your own, you're probably going to get smacked around by spirit a little bit and told to sit down so that you don't get carried away and kind of ruin the plan that spirit has. Okay, so be patient. It's going to be worth the wait, I promise you. And I love how this is so beautiful, the pyramid going directly with this beam of light into the cosmos, pretty in alignment to that 8-8 portal with the Lion's Gate and the Orion's Belt energy lining up to the pyramids of Giza. So just another validation here from the cosmos that we are right here on the right track. All right, this is our full moon and Lion's Gate awareness card for the week. And all it is divine guidance. I shouldn't say all it is. It just means that we are being divinely guided here, and we want to lean into our divine guidance. And that is the biggest thing that we need to do is trust in the divine guidance that we're being given. Listen to that inner voice, follow it, don't doubt it, don't judge it, don't suppress it, but instead follow it, and it will show you the way to your abundance, your infinite light, and your divine awareness and wisdom. So powerful cards, illumination for the beginning of the week, middle of the week, life restored. I should do it this way because the picture's prettier. Archangel Michael with the end of the week, patience, boop, and divine guidance for the moon and 8/8 portal. All right, a couple of announcements real quick before you all jet. I do have a free event, like I told you, coming up on August 16th. This is a virtual event on Zoom. So it's free and it's called Propel into Your Purpose. It's going to be a free event just for you so that we can activate some awareness of opening the mind and heart to what spirit has been already guiding you into your purpose. Even if you haven't been clear on it or seeing it clearly, we're also going to release some resistance to your purpose and passions as well, and to stepping into them with more freedom and independent thinking. So if you're interested in that event, that's going to be on August 16th from 4 to 6 p.m. Pacific time. I will put the link in the description to sign up for that. Also, I have a new Starseed gathering virtually in collaboration with the Ninth House Crystal Shop in in Tucson, Arizona. So we are going to be gathering together on Zoom virtually for a Starseed gathering where we're going to be talking all about what it means to be a Starseed. We're also going to be sharing UFO and ET stories. We're going to be connecting with our galactic families. And we're also going to dive into some research and understanding of what the energy is right now cosmically and how we can navigate through it even more with our Starseed potential. And that's going to be on August 28th. It's going to be from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time, or Mountain Standard Time, whichever one you want to call it. It's the same right now still. So, and that one is $20 for entry. And I'll also put a link in the description for you to sign up to that. And then I also have another event. This is a little bit ahead of time, but I want to mention it still. I am pairing with Cacao Drinking Chocolate, Mackenzie Marcus and Michael. I'm super excited to connect with them for a Calling on the Spirit of Cacao channel and intuitive event where we're going to be sipping cacao together, and I'll be doing a full reading on the energy of that week and month. So I'm super looking forward to that. That's going to be on September 4th. So I'll give you more info on that as well, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what to look forward to over the next several weeks. I hope to see you all at these events. And also, if you need some one-on-one guidance, I'm here for you as well. If you'd like some coaching or one-on-one readings, I'm here for you. So just click the link below and you'll be able to sign up for a one-on-one session with me also. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much for joining me here every single Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time. It's always so much fun for me to connect with you, my beautiful soul tribe here on YouTube. And please feel free to rewatch these meditations, these readings. There's so many things on this channel that you can tap into regularly. So feel free to continue to watch it and send it to your coworkers, your family, your soul tribe, your friends, because this is a really great time for all of the people who may be just a little spiritually curious, but needing that nudge to really start getting on that path so that they can raise their vibration and spiritually grow and evolve as well. So I hope that you can send this to them as well, and we can add some more people to our Web of Light community. Thank you so much for joining. I love you all so much. Yes, Tucson. It's a Ambi Lee. It's a virtual Tucson gathering, but it is with the Ninth House Crystal Shop in Tucson. So it will be virtual. I won't be in Tucson, but you'll still be able to join. It's cool that you're out there. All right, everybody. I love you. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you again next Sunday at 1:11 p.m. Central Time for more weekly energy reading. Peace.